What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I want to talk about to a man why all sex isn't equal. This is going to be not intentionally, it's just that I'm not intentionally making the subject disagreeable or controversial. I just think that the subject itself, it already is a little bit controversial. So I want to say that I'm coming from the view, I would say, I can't speak for all men. That's dangerous to try to speak for all. I'm not speaking for all men, but I will say that I believe that I speak for most men. 75, 80%, 85% men, I believe, feel this way, feel pretty close to the way that I do. We're going to be somewhere in the ballpark. So this video is going to come from the perspective of men who actually like women. First of all, some men have been hurt by women and they don't want to deal with a woman no more, and some men like men. So this isn't for one or two. This is for, in particular, men who like women, and even bigger than that, if I could narrow it down, a man who wants something serious with a woman. That's what we want to discuss. When you're talking about men and the question, because it's not about body count, but I just want to throw it out there because it kind of relates to a degree. When you talk about men and body count, on my channel a lot, I use the word decode. When a man is serious about a woman and he know that what he feels with her, he feel like this could be a great future. He may begin to ask her questions about her body count. Again, this video is not about body count. I'm going more into the reason of the question. Because what he's trying to do, he's trying to decode her behavior, her sexual history. Is, if she tells the truth, which we know most women won't, but assumingly, hypothetically, if she was to tell the truth, her sexual history tells us a pattern of her behavior, how she sees and values herself. So it's not that the number itself is going to deter a man to do one thing or another, but how did that number come to be? I'll give you an example. Take two women. Two women, 35 years old, both have been with 10 men. Now, I know to the women that's only been with 3 men, they be like, my God, 10 men? Whoa, I wouldn't want 10 men up in me like that. Don't worry, because to the women that's been with 50 men, they say only 10? She's still a virgin. So, two 35-year-old women, both been with 10 men. One of them, lady one, was in 4 serious relationships after high school. So let's say she had a high school boyfriend. She was with him. After high school, she had 4 serious relationships. They all lasted 2 or 3 years at a time. And then the other ones could have been pretty much casual. That's how she came up with her number. You can look at that from a male point of view and say, okay, she a little more serious, a little more mature. We understand where that 10 come from at 35 years old. Take lady number 2. She got 10 bodies. Her 10 bodies come from a 3-year period where she had 3 men a year that she just met at a party that she was invited to. So she went to 3 or 4 parties a year over a 3 year period and was with strangers at those parties or afterwards. They met up, got together. The pattern and the behavior of the first woman, we're going to say, okay, she's mature. That makes sense. The 10 bodies she got makes sense to us. So we can view her as being a little more serious, a little more mature. The way that Lady number 2 got the 10 bodies, we're going to view that as being a little more reckless. And if we're trying to take her serious, we're not going to want to take reckless serious. So her sexual choices then tells the man this is how she values herself. Did she value herself enough to keep her body? Don't worry, women. I know that y'all gonna say it's hypocritical. I get all of that. Just work with me here. Did she value herself enough to say, I'm only going to give my goodies, my vajayjay, to a man that I was in, for the most part, serious relationships with? Or is the value of myself so low that I just gave it away freely to guys that I met at a party, don't even really know who they are, ain't kept up with them, don't know nothing about them, don't know if they got a girlfriend or a wife, don't know if they down low, don't know nothing about them. I was in it for the thrill. That's what we want to know. Did you use your vajayjay in a mature situation to get to 10, or was it just a thrill? Because that's how we're going to see how you value yourself. Was it given up easily, or did it require work? Men actually respect women more who requires a little more patience and work. Trust me. When a man is serious about a woman, he's going to respect her more if it requires a little more work and effort to get it. Again, if he's trying to take her serious. So that's why I said I know that women will say, well, Professor X, that's a very hypocritical thing to say, because men don't hold themselves to the same standard. And I will say, I agree with you. Fair or not, we men hold women to a way higher sexual discipline than what we see ourselves at. We do not want a woman who is as casual as we were when we were moving like that in the streets. We do not want a woman that moved as effortlessly, as common, as free, as easily giving it up. We don't. We listen. Is it fair? No. But sometimes the reality is what it is, whether it's fair or not. And we do not want a woman that we're going to take serious that move in the streets as casually as we know either we have moved, or maybe some of our homeboys that we know in the way they move. We don't want to do that. We want a woman to hold herself to a higher standard of sexual discipline that would tell us she has the value of what we're looking for to have a long-term relationship with me. So I want you to keep that in mind, because again, a lot of times women will say that's very hypocritical. Y'all can go out and do whatever y'all want to do, sleep with whoever y'all want to sleep with, and then when it's time to settle down, you want to hold us to some kind of standard that y'all did not hold yourself to. We don't want to be hypocritical, but the answer is, sister, you are correct. That is exactly the way that we think. Exactly the way that we think. And last but not least, if A woman gave it to a man that we consider to be low level, the Pookies of the world, the one who offered nothing. He just came over to break her back every once in a while. And now all of a sudden, she wants this high level, highly disciplined, six-figure man that's got everything together. And especially if she want to hold him out, right? If she gave it to what we would consider to be the low lifes, the ones that ain't got nothing going for them, the ones that got to borrow your car, you with me? And she gave it to him, but then she want to reach up later and reach for a high value. See, once again, it's not about numbers. It's about, in this situation, who she gave it to. Not how many she gave it to, but who did she give it to? Because again, it's going to point to a pattern of behavior of how she thinks. She didn't value it enough to just only deal with men on a certain level. She dealt with men of low level, and now she want to jump up and try to deal with a man that's on a high level. And I want to say to ladies, it's not about perfection when it comes to a man. We're not looking for a woman to be perfect, especially in our age demographic. We're not looking for a woman to be perfect. But what we want to see is that she has evolved and matured in her sexual journey to where she began to, at some point before we came along, put a higher value on her sexual experience. That's really what we're looking for. We want to see, okay, maybe you was this way in college, maybe you was this way in high school, but by 40 years old, is there a pattern there that can tell us that you have now placed value upon your JJ, because now we want to take you serious. And we can't take you serious if we look at the pattern of your sexual behavior and it seems like you've just been all over the place and now you want to lock us down for the long term, and you know good and well you've been giving it to the low lives or carelessly or just anybody just want it or just for thrill or for fun. That's what it's all about. It's not just about the body count itself, but how did those numbers come to be? That's what men care about, so that we can decode a pattern of your behavior that would tell us something about you. That's what we want to know. That's what we want to know. And so obviously, if it's 100, that's gonna be hard to excuse. It's gonna be hard to make 100 men. That's gonna be hard to make any sense. So we understand that if it's too high, women gonna lie, men lie, women lie. Jay-Z told us that numbers don't lie. We get it. But I'm just saying, if somebody's gonna take you serious, if a man's gonna take you serious, this is the reason for the question in the first place, so that he can decode your journey of history before you met him. And from that, he can tell, at least we think we can tell, by decoding what you say, if you are quote unquote worthy enough to be taken seriously, especially if you're causing or asking us to wait on something that you already gave to somebody else, and chances are the person that you gave it to was on a lower level than we are. Y'all ladies got it? Good.